Today is Friday, February 26th. Welcome to this edition of Nevada County Now. Today's episode, we're talking vaccine science, historical landmarks, and more. Hello and welcome to Nevada County Now. I'm your host, Cole Pettit. We've seen an increase of 100 COVID-19 cases since last week, bringing our total to 3,932 confirmed cases. Last week at this time we had 536 active cases, but now we're sitting at just 153. There are 3 hospitalizations and the death toll remains at 74. According to the state's data, our adjusted case rate is now 11.3, down from 14.0, and our test positivity rate is 3.5%, down from 5.7% last week. We continue inching ever closer to the red tier, which is a case rate of 7 or less, but for now, we remain in the purple or widespread tier. The vaccine rollout continues across Nevada County. Yesterday, the county announced new COVID-19 vaccination appointments for the Whispering Pines Clinic in Grass Valley became available for scheduling today at 12 p.m. on myturn.ca.gov. Nevada County will continue to post new appointment availability for the Whispering Pines Clinic at 12 p.m. on Fridays. Nevada County is vaccinating all of Phase 1, 1A, and 1B as supplies allow. Review vaccine eligibility schedule at mynevadacounty.com/3172/vaccine schedule. At Wednesday night's Nevada City Council meeting, Public Health Director Jill Blake and Public Health Officer Dr. Scott Kellerman gave a brief presentation on the state of COVID-19 and vaccines here in Nevada County. Part of the presentation included Dr. Kellerman explaining the science behind how the vaccine works. Let's take a look.
People say, I can't believe this thing was cranked out in, just a year. I'm not taking that stuff. They haven't looked at the science. There's actually a friend of mine, Bill Kelly, who he's old like me, but years ago he said gene-based vaccine and gene-based therapy is the way of the future. And he started a lab at the University of Pennsylvania. And they've been working on it for well over 30 years, this vaccine. And the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. So this is 30 years, 3 decades in the making to produce this. Now, the engine for cranking it out so quickly was a pandemic and then an infusion of capital. But that's about it. The research, the basic research has been there for decades. So essentially you get a shot, and it's got something called messenger RNA. And the messenger RNA gets inactivated pretty quickly. But what it does, it gets taken up by the cell, doesn't go in the nucleus, it goes into something called ribosomes. And only thing it does is it tells the ribosome what to make. And it tells the ribosome to make spike proteins. You remember the picture that Jill showed initially, that round thing with all the spikes on the side? That's how COVID gets into your body, into your cells. So spike punch into the cell. And so the idea is make something that is problematic for the spikes. So the messenger RNA is get taken over by your ribosomes. You see the lower part of this cell. It produces the spikes. So that's all it does. Manufactures spikes and sit them on the outside of the cell. Next slide. And then your immune cells come along and see those spikes sitting out there, and they go, whoa, they shouldn't be there. Let's make some antibodies, and which is what they do. They make antibodies, and the antibodies go kill the COVID that happens to be in your system. I mean, it's good for right now. That's good. But these B cells also produce something called memory B cells, and they hang out. And they hang out for a long time. Many immunizations last for life. MMR, once you immunize, it's good for life. Yellow fever, good for life. You don't need to be reimmunized again because these B cells just kind of hang out. And they're just waiting for any spike protein cells to be in your body. And then they just crank out antibodies against it. Next slide. So this is what happens. The virus comes in, could be a couple of months later. You get exposed. Shouldn't have been there. Went to a party. Somebody coughed. Whoa. You get the virus. But the memory B cells are just waiting. They're primed. They're ready for it. and they'll go out and form a bunch of antibodies and they'll kill the virus. And that's the mechanism of action. The messenger RNA that's put into your system, it only lasts a day or two. All it does is tell the ribosome to make some spike proteins, and then it's gone. Side effects are minimal. As Jill said, we've immunized over, given about 20,000 doses in this community without no major problems, none. It's been quite extraordinary. You just don't see that. With a 95% effectiveness rate, I mean, it's a miracle.
You can find the full meeting on our government YouTube page. And remember, to stay up to date with the latest on the COVID vaccine, you can sign up for text alerts by texting vaccine info to 898-211. You can call 211 to speak to a call specialist, visit mynevadacounty.com/coronavirus/vaccine, or sign up with MyTurn by visiting myturn.ca.gov. Our healthcare system has been pushed to the extreme over the past year. I know we're all grateful for all the hard work our healthcare workers have put in. And while we've seen one specific way in which Sierra Nevada Memorial Hospital has been integral to our community, Kimberly Parker, Executive Director of the Sierra Nevada Memorial Hospital Foundation, dropped by to tell us some more of the ways they're contributing to the health of our community and how you can help out.
Hello and welcome. Today I thought I would talk about the Hospital Foundation and our purpose and our role in the community. When I talk to people, they often say back to me, "My goodness, I had no idea you did all of those things." Well, I have to say, in addition to myself and a wonderful, wonderful staff, we have a board of about 20 people. These individuals work very hard on philanthropy and focus on helping us with our philanthropic efforts. Our primary reason for work is to raise the philanthropic dollars for the hospital, and we do this through a variety of ways. We raise money for equipment, for programs, and for services. I have to tell you that over the years, our fundraising efforts have touched every corner of the hospital. We have helped raise money for the Cancer Center, for the Cardiac and Cardiac Rehab Program, for our stroke program, women's imaging, the breast cancer program, our emergency department, and more. But in addition to raising money through philanthropy, we also do a lot of community outreach and education. And we also have a number of our own programs. And I want to tell you a little bit about those because maybe you'll find benefit in them. One of our programs is our Alzheimer's Outreach Program. This program is geared to help caregivers of those struggling with Alzheimer's and dementia. We do it through one-on-one services, providing resources. We actually have a Yes I Can empowerment program for caregivers that helps guide you in how you can care for your loved one. This last year, that program served over 130 clients. We also have a social outreach program, which is geared to helping seniors in isolated situations deal with loneliness, depression, and other kinds of related issues. That program is also geared to helping people get connected to services. Another program that we're very proud of is our Falls Prevention Program. This is a really unique collaboration of over 30 individuals and organizations that have formed a coalition whose primary focus is to help people as they are reducing falls in their home. This is done through education and classes and other kinds of activities. This program this past year served over 573 people. And finally, on the other end of the spectrum, something for our young people in our community is for over 20 years we've had the Read Me a Story program. Read Me a Story works with children up to age 5 by providing educational information to parents and a book at every pediatric well child visit. This past year, because of the pandemic and the importance of literacy, we decided to expand that program to up till 8 years old. This past year alone, we gave away over 3,400 books at pediatric visits. Since that program started, it's given away over 58,000 books, and it's really helped many parents with reading with and to their child before they go into school. We're very proud of all these programs, but one thing they all have in common is they're all free. They're a resource to you in our community. If you'd like to access information about any of the programs or to learn more about Sierra Nevada Memorial Hospital Foundation, I encourage you to go to our website at www.supportsierranevada.org. You can email us at info@snmhf@dignityhealth.org, or please feel free to call and talk to our staff at 530-477-9700. We're so deeply to the community and all the support that they've given us, which has really helped us be able to provide these services back to you in the community. Thank you very much. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll look forward to talking to you next time.
Thanks, Kimberly. At Tuesday's Grass Valley City Council meeting, the council voted unanimously to designate the former location of the African Methodist Episcopal Church as a historical site. For more, let's turn it over to Sonora Slater.
Thanks, Cole. The site of a former African Methodist Episcopal, or AME, church was approved to be recognized as a historic landmark during the Grass Valley City Council meeting that took place on Tuesday, February 23rd, after a recommendation by the Historical Commission presented by Lance Lowe. According to Lance, acting as staff liaison to the Historical Commission, the recognition and site designation will be largely symbolic, as the church itself no longer exists. As such, he explained what the historic landmark recognition entails.
So with that, the Historical Commission recommends that the City Council designate the African Methodist Episcopal Church as a historic site, authorize the placement and allocate supplemental funding of a kiosk sign, and authorize an application to be submitted to the Nevada County Landmarks Commission, which includes the actions, the project statutorily exempt, and we have adoption of findings contained in the historical Commission staff report, and approve the recommendations per the Historical Commission staff report.
The kiosk will include an aerial photograph of the site, as well as a description of the church and its history, and will be funded collaboratively by the City Council, the Historical Commission, and the current property owners of the site. According to Historical Commission Chair Linda Jack, the Grass Valley AME Church was built in 1854. A second Nevada County AME church was built in Nevada City in 1864. She said that the churches represented a place for local residents to worship and connect with their community in social events, but that they were also very active in civil rights, especially as they saw their theology as inseparable from the ideas of justice, freedom, and equality. In an article submitted to the Union for publication, Linda elaborated on the difficulty the church faced in their pursuit of social justice. She said that Grass Valley had many residents who wanted to end the Civil War regardless of if slavery was left intact, and that even after the passage of the 15th Amendment, state and local governments put into place roadblocks to fair voting opportunities. By the late 1800s, the Black population of Nevada County had dwindled, and both the Grass Valley and Nevada City church properties were sold before the turn of the century. City Council member Bob Brandstrom expressed excitement about the opportunity to approve a new historic landmark and gratitude to the Historical Commission for recommending the site.
First of all, I'd just like to thank the Historical Commission for bringing this to our attention and for offering to help finance a kiosk. I'd also like to thank the property owners, Mr. and Mrs. Gutman, for the same thing. And finally, I'd like to thank the public for its comments. I didn't realize there were 24 of them. I read through them this afternoon. I was completely surprised by this. I had no idea that this was part of our town's history. And I could see reading the comments that several other people were also surprised that this is just kind of a black hole, no pun intended, in our community. And I want to kind of paraphrase Reverend Kevin Tarse's comments that part of what this does is make the invisible visible. And that's important for our past, but also important for the present. By doing this, it helps to make our present more visible as well regarding the Black community that we have here.
Now that the site has been approved by the Grass Valley City Council, The Historical Commission will next seek to gain recognition on a county level by the Nevada County Landmarks Commission, where it would join more than 50 other landmarks designated by the County Commission since its creation in 1969. Back to you, Cole.
Thanks, Sonora. NID's Foothill Campgrounds will reopen for winter camping starting on March 1st. The campgrounds at Scott's Flat Reservoir, as well as Long Ravine and Orchard Springs at Rollins Reservoir, will be open on a first-come, first-served basis. The regional coronavirus stay-at-home order was lifted on January 12th, but NID recreation personnel decided to remain closed for a little while longer, just in case another shutdown occurred. While no reservations are being taken for winter camping, online reservations are now available for foothill camping later in the year. In the high country, Faux Cherie, Aspen, and Silvertip group campsites remain closed. NID is taking reservations with no payment for the 2021 summer season in case the state and county restrictions are lifted prior to stay. Also, NID group sites in the Foothill Campgrounds are under the same rules as the upper division. The district is taking the reservations with no payment in case the group sites are able to open later this year. For more information, visit nidwater.com. The Bear River Baseball Parent Booster Club, in partnership with the Sacramento Regional Conservation Corps, is hosting a drive-through e-waste event. It takes place this Saturday, February 27th from 1 to 4 p.m. at Bear River High School, located at 11130 Magnolia Road. They'll accept everything from an office, like computers, laptops, phones, and servers, but they're not taking things like vacuums, carpet cleaners, no bulbs, no extension cords, and no appliances. If you're looking to clean out your old electronics, this is a great opportunity to do so while supporting local sports. If you need more information, email bearriverhigh.baseball@gmail.com. As things begin to return to normal, here at Nevada County Media, we're beginning the process of bringing back some of our shows we've had to put on hold over the past year. One that I'm particularly excited to get back to making is our cooking show, Let's Get Cooking. We're currently looking for guest chefs to teach our host, John Voorhees, their signature dish. If you're a chef, know a chef, or even a talented home cook, send us a message through our website, nevadacountymedia.org/contact. I look forward to trying some of your tasty creations. We'll leave you tonight with some clips from previous episodes. Remember, stay safe, take care of each other. We'll see you next week.
We are the highest rated cooking show in Nevada County on public access. So fire up your Grateful Dead if that's your jam. Because today on Let's Get Cooking, we're going to do some shrooms. And add some wine. Oh, finally. Don't stick your tongue out at me. Oh, ow, oh, that's so hot. It's a big lie. Remember, Let's Get Cooking, Thursdays at 11 right here. Nevada County Media.